immersed in her for the last few months. And it's quite an extraordinary journey to step into her.
Well, Giles knew her.
Oh, yes, very well.
I first met her in the early 1970s when she was young and she was Secretary of State for Education.
And what did you say, Giles?
I said she was sexy. And I wasn't, and at the time, what perfect casting. People did say...
You are something else,
I probably have to apologise on Twitter for making a personal remark. You know, because when he said keep fit, I thought right fit. Not allowed any longer, I appreciate that. But the point is, people at the time did think that she was a sexy person. Other politicians, senior politicians, in their diaries and cabinet. And she was a very feminine person and a very caring person. No great sense of humour. That's the only downside with Mrs. T. There was a famous story, somebody gave her a joke from Monty Python to use, and looking at the joke, she didn't understand it, and she said, "This Monty Python, is he one of us?" She assumed it was some political figure. She didn't know who Monty Python was.
That was a good joke, though, really, wasn't it?
But in the end, she was a formidable figure. Are you finding her remarkable?
I am finding her remarkable for many different reasons. It's very different when you immerse yourself in something as thoroughly as one does for a character like that, and then, you know, the Crown is through the lens of the Crown and through the lens of these individuals. It's really not about Margaret Thatcher. She's a tertiary character, so it's also coming to grips with that and figuring out how to play that balance of her.
There's a myth that they didn't get on, and I'm not sure that that myth actually can be substantiated. Mrs. Thatcher told me, the Queen doesn't talk about it, Mrs. Thatcher told me that they got on very well, and I do note that the Queen only has been to the funerals of 2 of her 14 prime ministers. And one was Winston Churchill and the other was Margaret Thatcher. And I think the Queen had respect and admiration for Margaret Thatcher.
Well, they were very similar in very, very many ways.
Oh, tell me more.
Well, they were similar in age. They were similar in terms of their determination and single-mindedness. And
the one big difference between them, of course, is that Margaret Thatcher had only one passion in her life, and that was politics. And when that passion was taken away from her, when she ceased to be Prime Minister, her life really disintegrated. Whereas the Queen does have a passion, as well as being sustained by duty and driven by faith. She has the passion of her horses.
I was going to say they're both driven by faith, and they're both driven human beings. And I don't know. I've become very fond of her.
Can you do the voice? Just a moment of the voice for us.
Oh yeah, no.
Not gonna happen.
Well, we will have to stop, Giles, because we've got a lot to get through this evening.
Oh, are there other people on the show apart from us? They keep making this mistake. You know?
We should have put him at the end, shouldn't we?
We should have. This happens every time.
Just kidding.
We're off to Glasgow.